justice in your face, motherfucker! You fucking pair of dumb cunts. Jesus fucking Christ, mate. Fuck off. Roosh V.
Davis, MJ or Reno. Jack Barnes, MRA. War Corpse.
Thunderfoot and the Amazing Atheist.
Pamela Geller. Jordan Owen, 42.
Cunts.
Hello YouTubers. Today we talk about Hirsi Ali, or more specifically Kevin Logan's rather biased and somewhat bigoted opinions about Ayaan Hirsi Ali, and some other related topics as well. This is a response video and I'm responding to one made by Kevin Logan. Its title is This Is Not Drama, Take 2. I will link to the video below. Let's begin.
I have, three specific problems, two of which can be linked into one as such. One problem I have is that Ayaan Hirsi Ali and Maajid Nawaz are, I don't think you can realistically describe those people as liberal, and I don't think you can realistically describe them as kind of allies of kind of I don't know, decency in a way. Completely anyway, or you certainly shouldn't hold them up as bastions of those things. That's not to say that they're completely awful human beings, or that they're sort of scumbags, or that they can't be trusted, because many of the things they say I actually agree with. The problem I do have though is say with Ayaan Hirsi Ali, her involvement with I think it was the VVD, the political party in Holland, the Geert Wilders led party of absolute bigoted scumbags. They're called something like the Freedom and Democracy Party of Holland, or some absurd misleading fucking title. It's not quite as bad, but I thought the example of it was just the Hitler decided to call the Nazis the We Love Jews party. I mean, they have no interest in the concept of freedom, as can be seen by virtually all of their incredibly bigoted and borderline fascistic.
Hirsi Ali was a member of the PVDA party until November 2002. After falling out with the leadership in relation to security issues, she left the PVDA and joined the People's Party of Freedom and Democracy, which is VVD. The PVDA is the Netherlands Labour Party. The VVD is a conservative liberal party and occupies centre-left. It naturally forms coalition governments with the Labour Party. Neither party is sympathetic to Wilders.
Laws they would have passed, although they're a relatively small party.
The PVV is Geert Wilders' party. It's actually the third largest party in the Netherlands, Kevin. In the last election it polled 25% of the votes, a share thought likely to increase dramatically in the next general election, which is scheduled for 2017. Let's not forget which parties Kevin is trying to paint as bigoted and racist here. For clarity, be mindful that neither the VVD nor the PVDA takes such a position. It is the PVV, which is Geert Wilders' party, which has taken an anti-Islamization stance.
And to be fair, she's no longer a part of that party, but I'll get on to more recent dalliances in a moment. Yeah, she was involved in that party, and part of that party's platform was to reduce or to curb the number of immigrants into Holland from Arab immigrants into Holland, which is an incredibly racist stance to take. And of course, she got into trouble, and one of the reasons she left that party was because one of the things that they were pushing, their immigration policy, was to have, if you'd lied on your immigration forms, you would be sent back. And Ayaan Hirsi Ali supported that initially, even though she later admitted that she herself had lied, and under that policy she would have been sent back to Ethiopia, presumably.
She applied for political asylum using her grandfather's surname. When challenged about this, she claimed that it was to avoid being identified by other members of her clan, and therefore being put at risk of retaliation by her own clan and other family members. Who are we to judge those in fear of violence or retribution, Kevin? In a parliamentary investigation of Hirsi Ali's immigration status, her omission of her true identity was investigated, and the Parliamentary Commission came to the conclusion that it was legal to use surnames derived from any generation as far back as the grandparents. Therefore, Hirsi Ali's application, though against clan and family custom, was perfectly legal under Dutch law.
And indeed, actually, to go back to the Geert Wilders VVD, they also had a policy called the Villages of Scum, where which is again a very, very fascistic idea and a very fascistic name, especially for someone who claims so virulently and fights so hard to claim that he is not a fascist and that his party isn't a fascist party.
Well, that does sound awful, doesn't it? But what are the facts, Kevin? Let's see. Ah, yeah. Urban van der Laan, Amsterdam's Labour mayor, Labour is left-wing, Kevin, just in case you're confused, tabled the £800,000 plan to tackle the 13,000 complaints of antisocial behaviour received every year in Amsterdam. He complained that long-term harassment often leads to law-abiding tenants rather than their nuisance neighbours being driven out of their homes. So this was the policy that was implemented by the VVD. That's the Labour Party, Kevin. Not the PVV, which is Geert Wilders' party. Although it could be said to be based on proposals by Wilders. As an aside, here in the UK such policies are common, often implemented by Labour-led councils. The Gurnos estate in South Wales might be a good example of one of these. Such policies being enacted in practice, if not by policy.
But anyway, yeah, and that party was criticised by an organisation called the Quillian Foundation, which links us on to our second person that I have a problem with. And again, I don't know necessarily the other four people involved in this image, which was posted on Facebook last night, I believe. I had a very weird back and forth with the Skeptic Feminist over this. I was very tired. Because for those who don't know, I work night shifts, and so I was very tired. It was about 5 in the morning. I was coming towards the end of the shift, and I can't remember exactly how it went down, but it was a bit weird. And I hopefully I'll speak to the Skeptic Feminist at some point and clear that up, because I wasn't sure quite what was going on. Anyway, yeah, the Quillian Foundation was founded by, or co-founded by, and is currently chaired by Majid Nawaz, and it's actually quite a good organisation. It fights against Islamic extremism and things like that. And it described Geert Wilders as both a racist and a bigot.
They have stated that he is a hate-filled bigot, but have not accused Wilders of racism, Kevin. There are subtleties in play that seem to whiz over your intellect.
Now again, should we push forward Ayaan Hirsi Ali on the basis that she's a liberal when clearly she fucking isn't? Clearly, the company she keeps suggests to me that she is very comfortable in dangerously close to fascistic circles. I'm not going to say they're absolutely fascist, but...
Oh, you disapprove of the company she chooses. Birds of a feather and all that. My, we are a bit judgy, aren't we, Kevin?
To people who aren't extreme. Ayaan Hirsi Ali that does that in the sense that she essentially puts her criticisms of Wahhabism, which she was exposed to in... she was originally from Ethiopia, so she was exposed to that in her younger years.
Hirsi Ali was born in Mogadishu, Somalia, Kevin. After her father escaped from prison, he and the family left Somalia, going to Saudi Arabia, and then to Ethiopia. They actually settled in Kenya, and it was there in Kenya that Hirsi Ali attended the English language Muslim girls' secondary school. Up to that point, Saudi Arabia was funding religious education in numerous countries, and its religious views were becoming influential amongst many Muslims. A charismatic religious teacher trained under this scheme joined Hirsi Ali's school. She inspired the teenager, as well as some fellow students, to adopt the more rigorous Saudi Arabian interpretation of Islam. as opposed to the more relaxed versions then current in Somalia and Kenya. So, Kevin, she was exposed to a wide range of Islamic traditions than you would suggest.
Hopefully you take it in this in the spirit it's intended, as actual genuine constructive criticism and dialogue between one good person and another set of good people. If that makes sense.
Oh, really? Why not try some basic fact-checking before casting aspersions on others and throwing around charges of racism and bigotry? You seem to base your opinions on patent inaccuracies and often demonstrable nonsense. Little wonder your dialogues are nothing more than a stream of unmitigated nonsense, filled with vitriolic invective. You should resist the temptation of uttering your opinion until you're able to form them in relation to at least some contact with reality.